Hey guys, it's Jake from Wild Academy and welcome to day 1 of the Learn PHP tutorial series. This series is going to be going over my Learn PHP book. It's going to be covering each chapter. Now there's a way to get this book for free down in the video description. Otherwise, I'll be covering everything in this free video tutorial course. So let's go ahead and get started. And so the first thing we need to do is install an editor or an IDE. If you already have one, that's fine, but with this series, we're going to be using the IDE to run our PHP files. We're just going to go to the Komodo IDE here. This is what I use. The company Active State has given me a link for a free 21-day trial for you of their IDE. And with this IDE, we're going to be able to run the files, as I said, within there. Okay, and if you just go here, it'll select whichever system you're on. Go ahead and install that. I'm going to put timestamps down below in the video description, so if you want to jump ahead to any topic, feel free to do that. But for right now, I'm going to talk about the salary and kind of why you should learn PHP, and then give you some advice on how to help you along through this video or through this series and just learning PHP in general. So the first thing I'll cover is, and I can stop looking directly at the camera, but the first thing I'll cover is the average salary. Now these things, they're never exactly right, and there's always variables. There's the mean, and then there's the people that are just far out there, and there's the people that know somebody who knows somebody. So there's all those types of things that go on, and then there's the companies that have a lot of influx of money. So again, never set your sights on a specific amount. Just know that everything is a range. So it's at 87,000 as of May 2015. This is from Indeed. And they've been analyzing since July 2012, and you can see that it's gone up. And this is also 50% higher than the average salaries for all jobs, and not just the software industry, but all jobs in general. So as the economy is slowing or steady or slightly going up, wherever it's at right now, know that as a software developer, you are keeping pace and excelling it. All right? All right, so then you're going to install XAMPP. And XAMPP, sorry, just hit the table, but XAMPP is going to install PHP for you. That's really all we need to do. That's all XAMPP is going to give us for now that we need it for. Install that, and I'll just run it here. Actually, I don't need to run it because I have it in the book, kind of the images that you're going to see. So if we scroll down, after you install that and run it, this is going to come up, the setup pane. Make sure everything here is selected, that's fine. But what it's going to do is it's going to install the PHP language right here. So just definitely make sure that's selected. Then we're going to go to the next one, and you can uncheck this Learn More About Bitnami for XAMPP. We're not going to worry about that right now. Okay, and then you'll hit Next. And then we already did the Komodo IDE. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video, make sure both those are installed, and then we can come right back to it. We're going to launch Komodo. So Komodo IDE 9. All right. And I'll just get rid of that. I should just go to the welcome. You should see something come up like this. And what you're going to do is you're just going to do new file from template. Actually, let's do that. And then you'll go down and you should see a PHP template. There we go, up right there. Hit open. And so it'll show you, it'll open up your opening and closing tag for you. Now, if your background isn't black, what you can do is you can just change those in preferences. But I think that the new Komodo 9, its defaults to black, but also this should be white here. Again, that stuff doesn't matter, and we'll talk about that later. I'm actually going to do a Komodo course where I show how to set up the IDE and customize it, and then all the little cool tools that it has as well. Just go over to this drop-down menu right there. You can click that, and then go Edit, and then hit Preferences. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to connect the PHP so that we can debug PHP code in this IDE. So you're going to go to Languages right here, and you're going to go to PHP, and you'll see here Default PHP Interpreter. Now I've already set mine up, but it's probably empty on yours. And if you're on Windows, it should have installed XAMPP on your C drive. But I'm going to go browse just to kind of show you where it's at. Again, on Mac and Linux, it should install on the default. Whatever it comes up when you're installing XAMPP, just install it into the default folder. So C, and then we're going to come down, and oh, I'm already in the folder. Okay, so we're in C. Double click on XAMPP right there. And then what you're looking for is PHP folder right there. All right, and then you're going to scroll down, and you should see a PHP application. You'll see the purple and black PHP icon there, and it should say application right here. Okay, then hit open, and now it's going to point there. So it should be something like XAMPP PHP php.exe. Then we can hit OK. There's just one more thing we need to change in the settings. So go up there on the drop-down menu, Preferences. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to Debugger right here. And it should say Skip Debugging Options dialog. You want to make sure that that is checked. Skip Debugging Options dialog. Then hit Apply, hit OK. Now let's check to see if everything is working the way it should. We're just going to do print, and we'll do single quotes. It worked. Okay, every statement in PHP needs to be ended with a semicolon at the end. So just make sure you put that there. And now you need to save the file before we can debug it. So we're just going to hit Control S. And I'll just save this under, I'll just create a new folder on my desktop for right now. Let's do PHP lessons. Save it in there. And we'll do test run. Underscore test run dot PHP. And then you can just save it. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to hit F7. You'll see that down here it should say it worked. If you're on a Mac, to debug the file, you're going to hit Command Control R. So let's talk about variables. A variable is the same that we use in algebra. It is used to assign a name to a particular value or element. And that same thing is true with, there's my Pomodoro list. The same thing is true with PHP. So if we come in here and we name a variable, now instead of just like naming it X or Y, you started out with a dollar symbol. So we'll do A, or dollar symbol A, vary. Now you can name this what you want, but I'm just going to do it A vary so that you know that that's the variable. And then we will set it equal to, let's do 67, and I'll put a semicolon at the end. All right, so now whenever we call a vary, it points to the value of the integer 67. Okay, now integers are a scalar value type, and we'll talk about those in 1 second. So if we wanted to print this variable to the screen, we would do print A underscore var, semicolon. Now hit save, and you can run the file. There we go, 67. I'm going to come up here and just knock out this print. There we go. Clean it up a bit. Oh, gotta save it. Control S, F7, 67. Now the other thing I recommend is to create breadcrumbs, and I talked about this in another one of my series, and then I actually created a video specifically on this. Motivation, pretty much any time you're trying to learn something, you have to trick yourself. You have to create little ways to motivate yourself. Now a lot of people, I mean, that's what gaming is, right? It's like a drug. We got to give them a little oomph. Send them a notification, tell them good job, those types of things. Well, what I do with YouTube is I like to create video playlists of the videos that I watch, that are, learning videos, because then I can go back in the future and I can see what I've watched, and that is a measurement, right? Because what can be measured can be changed, can be increased, can be improved upon. So to do that, you just go down here below. If you haven't created a playlist before, you'll just click Add To, and then you'll do Create a New Playlist, and then you can do PHP tutorials, right? Whatever you want, programming tutorials, anything like that, or finished lessons. Just something so that you can keep track of everything that you've done. Now, you can throw this PHP series on here. You can throw other series on here. Again, if it's your programming, if you just call it programming lessons, anything. PHP lessons. And then you just hit create. It's just so that you can then go back into your playlist later and see everything that you finished. So when you're done with PHP tutorial day 2, you'll come down, add to, and then you'll select this. This video is already added, but you'll select that one to put it in there. Let's go back into the book. We're going to go back a chapter. So I went ahead one because I wanted to talk about variables first. So integers, I've already shown you those. Those are just whole numbers, 1s, 54, 23. Floats are your decimal points. So if I come in here, I could change this to a float by doing it, 67.35. Okay. Next is going to be strings and Booleans. So we'll do a string real quick, and we actually did one earlier, but we're going to use a variable this time. We're going to do just name it string equal to, and we can use single quotations or double quotations. We'll continue to use single quotations for right now. This is a string. Semicolon at the end. And then again, if you wanted to print out this, print a_string. Alright, so we're going to save this now. Go ahead and run it, and you'll see that it ran, this is a string. So if you want, you can actually comment out these individual lines by doing 2 forward slashes. You'll see that it's grayed out now. And that means that when we run it, it won't be recognized by PHP. So we'll just run it here. This is a string. Now the last value that we talked about, actually let's change this back to 67, create a new one here. You don't have to worry about this, but I just want to make sure, a float. Don't get any confusion here. 23, there we go. And we'll just knock this one out for now. Print a string, we don't need that anymore. Can actually just get rid of that. So lastly, we'll cover, this is an integer. An int is what I'll give you. And then this last one is going to be a Boolean. Well, it's not going to be the last. We're going to do one more, but it'll be a composite value, not a scalar. So we'll set this one equal to true. Okay. Now, true, what is that? So true is one of two options, true or false. And that's what a Boolean is. It's either or. It can be 1 and 0. It can be yes, no, if that's the way you want to think about it. The key word we use is false or true. But basically, it's if we wanted the computer to say output something to the screen, the computer, so we wanted our program to output something to the screen, we would set a condition, and that condition is either true or it's false. And so if it's true, it'll put it out to the screen if that's what we have it do. Now let's talk about arrays. This is the composite value. So we'll do underscore a array is what I'll call it, and I'll set it equal to array. Now just this is the keyword array, then we're going to do parentheses here. An array holds multiple values. So we're going to do 32, and we're going to separate each value with a comma, 32, 54, the number I use all the time, 78, and then 21. A semicolon at the end of that. And so now we've created a value that's called array. And this is the old syntax for creating array, but you're going to see it, so this is why I'm showing you it. There's a new way of doing it. Do a new equals, and instead of using our parentheses, we're going to use brackets. And we would just do, in fact, I'm going to use strings on this one because you aren't limited, You aren't limited, we'll do names, Mike, to integers. Let's do Drew, Jill. You guys will probably see me use very short names, and commonly I'll use the same ones. They're just people in my life that I don't know, I use them often. So no, I don't use them like like, hey, I need to borrow some money. But no, I use their names often. Okay, and now we can just save this. We actually don't need to save it for really any particular reason. I'm just showing you that this is what an array looks like and the syntax. And then later I will show you how we can access each element within this array. So Mike is an element, Jill is her own element, and Drew is as well. Same with these numbers. But for now, I'm just going to show you that. So I'll come down here again, and let's talk about combining our variables. So let's say that we wanted to, oh my goodness, there we go, now it's a float. I had it just at 23. So let's say we wanted to combine two variables. We could do, we'll just name this variable A or Alcoholics Anonymous, and we'll set it equal to 45. All right, and then we'll set this variable equal to AB, and we're going to set it equal to 10. And now we're going to print out the combination of these two together. So do print AB or AA plus, we're doing math here, so we're going to do AB. Sorry, am I talking too quietly? Now I hit save, and then we'll run it. And you'll see that 55 was returned. Okay, so it took the values that were in here. So the reason this is powerful is, look, if I come in here and I change AA, let's do AA times, guess we'll do the math lesson in this episode as well, times AB. Go ahead and hit save here and run it. And run it. So you'll see that 55 was returned, and then 45 times 10, which is 450, is returned. Let's go ahead and use echo. Echo is the same as print. It's going to return what we ask it to. And we'll do, well, let's change AA to 50. AA divided by AB, semicolon. Save, and we'll run it. And you'll see that 5 was returned. Now coming up here, we can comment those out right there. All right. Coming down here, we're going to do echo again. And this time we're going to subtract AB from A. So we'll do AA, or yes, AB from AA. There we go. Go ahead and hit save. Run it again. You'll see that 40 is returned here. Again, I'm just going to comment this out so we don't have to worry about that. Save it again, run it. There we go. 40. All right, I'm going to comment this one out again because I'm going to show you two more. Okay, so let's come back into the book. Now I've showed you the first four: division, multiplication, subtraction, and addition. But the next two I'm going to show you are modulus and exponentiation. Now, modulus will give us the remainder of x divided by y. So let's come in here because it can be a little bit confusing. But let's just do echo. And again, we're going to actually need to change this to 49 here. All right. And it'll make sense in just one second. So we'll do echo AA modulo AB. Now I hit save and run it, and you'll see that 9 is returned. Now the reason 9 is returned is that 10 goes into 49 4 times total with a remainder of 9. It only returns the remainder to us. So if I come in here and I were to make this 2, we're going to hit save again, run the file again, you'll see that 2 is returned instead. Lastly, we'll do the exponentiation. And this one's really easy. It's just echo, it's just to the power. So 10 exponential to the third, and then we'll do semicolon, hit it, and we'll have it return 1000. So it's 10 times 10 is 100 times 10 is 1000. So again, 3 exponential 4, save, run, 81. All right, guys, if you want to get the Learn PHP book for free, all you need to do is send it to my email list. It goes on free promo at the beginning of each month, so I'll send you guys out a link when that is free. There's a link to wildacademy.co down in the description. That'll bring you here, and then you can sign up right there. And this will also give you a free lifetime membership to the upcoming wildacademy.com website. All right, if you like the video, please like the video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And subscribe to the channel. My name is Jake, and I will see you in day 2. Peace.